Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rebecca Hughes. I am the Deputy Director of the New York State Canal Corporation. We will soon be joined by Canal Director Ben Walsh, but he had to step away for a phone call regarding the freshly passed state budget. So he will join us shortly, but I'll lead us through introductions and get us started. I know we're still working on some tech support for folks that are trying to join as presenters, so Kim will provide support for that. So a special thank you, especially to Kim, Joe, and Bowman for helping us to set up for today's meeting and all of your support and organizational skills. Also a special thank you to B. Gonzalez, our Canals and NYPA trustee, who has again joined us for the meeting. Thank you for your support. Let's go around the table for introductions, if that works for everyone. We've got a full house, absolutely have a quorum. And may in fact have all of our CRC members represented today. So let me start with Commissioner Patorti.
Hi, Francis Patorti, Village of Whitehall.
Douglas Cole, professional engineer from Schenectady County.
Bob Radcliffe, Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor.
Justine Browner, Capital Planning Manager for NYPA.
Jessica Foote, Acquisitions and Disposals for Canals.
Timur Pello, Canal Corporation Special Assistant for the Director.
Natalie Stetson, Executive Director of the Erie Canal Museum in Syracuse.
Steve Iacetta, Commissioner, County of Albany, retired planner.
Callaway Sikowski, CRC Commissioner. Greetings from the Finger Lakes.
Thank you all for joining us. I believe online, if they've not yet joined, we'll be joined by our remaining commissioners. I don't know if Ken DeRoller or Michelle Bernard are on, if you want to just say hello to everyone.
I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, I think you can hear me now. Michelle Bernard, retired, Albany, Troy, New York, Capital Region.
Michelle. And Fred, are you on? Or I'm sorry, Ken. All right, Ken DeRoller may be with us. I'm not sure. Kim can follow up to see if he needs any tech support or he may be unavailable today.
I was muted. Sorry.
There you go, Ken.
Ken DeRoller, Orleans County Commissioner. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Nice to see you. We do also have several agency voting members. I don't know if Fred or Laura are on and want to say hi. All right, hearing none. Fred Bond and Laura DeBetta may be on from Department of State or from Parks rather, and DEC respectively. How about Paul Byer or Ross Levi?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Ross Levi. I'm the Executive Director of the New York State Division of Tourism and a Vice President at Empire State Development, representing our Commissioner, Hope Knight.
Thanks for being here, Ross. And Paul, are you with us? Also joined in the room. Peter, would you like to say hi and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Peter Dunleavy, the Director of the Office.
Thank you for being with us. Also, we've got other staff around the room. I'll just run through them quickly so that we can get started. But if everyone could please give a warm welcome to our newest team member, Josh Loden-Bray has joined us as our Manager of Events Marketing. So this is his first day. Yes, we have this kind of party every time something starts. It's great. And Cheryl Patorti is here with us. Jackie Schillinger, Dave Bossart are also here in the room with us. So our fish, and B, did you want to say hi or anything to kick us off?
No, just yes, hello, and my apologies. I have to log off at 2 because I have someone coming for another meeting at 2 o'clock. But I do want to say that I had a great time at the canal cleanup that we did the other day for Earth Day. So I just thank you and kudos to everybody that was out at the Inner Harbor cleaning up on Earth Day.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I'll come back to you guys. I think Michelle has her hand up.
Yes, I do. Is Josh in Syracuse or someplace else in the state?
Oh, thank you. No, Josh is here based in Albany, but he will be traversing all over the state. He'll be very much kind of the face of experiential marketing and our exhibiting for Canal Corporation. So you will be seeing him at a Canal location near you. And let me also just, oh, sorry,
If
go
you
ahead.
could send out his contact information, that would be helpful.
Yeah, we would be happy to do that. I think actually
Okay,
a
thank
welcome
you.
email too is in order. So we'll get that out and we'll share that with the commissioners as well.
Thank you.
And I neglected to introduce two more folks around the table. I'm sorry. I was a little nervous with all the formality of this. Shane, you want to say hello?
Hi, everybody. Shane Mahar, Director of Public Engagement for Canals. And Michelle, yes, Joshua will be setting up some meet and greets and get his
Great.
information out there. He already got a long list of to-dos this morning in the first couple of hours. But
I bet.
really glad to have him here.
Yeah, we're
Great.
all making sure
Thank
we're
you.
first in line. Angeline Chandler, Vice President of Planning.
Thank you. And I don't know if I missed anyone. Please do not hesitate to chime in if there's anyone I missed. All right, the part that's giving me nerves is like the governance piece. So we've done introductions. The next order on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. So I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. So moved by Cal and seconded by Commissioner Paforti. Thank you. Is there any other discussion on the minutes? All right, hearing none. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion is carried and the minutes are approved and my stress is now relieved. So the next item on our agenda is our real property items. We do have 3 real property items to review today. Jessica Foote from our real property division will be leading us through those. And in the months intervening since our last CRC meeting, members had also asked for an update on past approvals, what's happening with the real property items that the CRC has reviewed in the past. So I think Jessica will also just be able to provide a very high level update on just kind of the summary of the status there. And members also have a more complete list of real property items for the last 10 years in their packets. And I believe that's been shared, or if not, will be very soon electronically. So with that, Jessica, I'll turn it over to you to begin the real property items.
Before we move into the items, I actually just wanted to start by providing a quick status update on the transactions over the last 10 years. We plan to update and share this report on an annual basis. The report included in your packet today details the requested information such as the applicant type, location, zoning, and status. In the last 10 years, we have brought 45 real property transactions to the Commission for approval. Out of the 45, 16 of these transactions have been closed and completed. We have 13 applicants that are still in the process of providing a survey for the transaction. 8 of those are also in the appraisal stage, and then we have 3 in the board approval stage. Annually, the Public Authorities Law requires us to post certain transactions on our website and file these transactions with the authority's budget office. Going forward, we plan to provide a list to the CRC of all transactions completed the previous year for your awareness. Commission members are welcome to reach out to me for the status on any transaction, and I would be happy to provide an update.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
I just want to say
Excellent.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Michelle, I know you're not here. Can you it's here.
I'm listening. I'm writing.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Of course. I just don't make, oh, I'm sorry.
If it's okay, if I'm not a commissioner, but if I could just ask a quick question. Some of these, say 2017 is still in the survey stage. A lot of them are older ones. Are those still likely to be transferred, or is it unclear?
Some of them are a little less active on behalf of the applicant. So they're still kind of lingering in those stages. And then also sometimes the cost of items, applicants have to save up for that. There's a little.
So is there any point where you pull back and say it's been 6, 7, 8 years and you haven't closed on this? Or are they all still open and you're hoping to close them all?
Yeah, we don't really tell people that they can't close on the transaction. So once they're ready, we'll kind of start picking that up. Maybe we need to go back and review, you know, are there any other needs on our end before we keep progressing this, and then we can progress the transaction.
Okay, thanks.
Also, there are 16 that have closed and 16 that are still in progress. Do we have an idea? I mean, I'm sure you do, of what has closed and what kind of impact it's had on the property and on the canal that we could share?
We don't typically track them once they're closed. So
Okay.
we'd have to do research and see.
So a lot of them are like private sales for people who are, I mean, we're used to looking at the land and you know, that a lot of it will just go to kind of residential use.
Yeah.
I would just wonder if there's anything in progress or process that would have more commercial or a larger impact on, and maybe we could find out what those are in the future.
Yeah, Michelle, that prompted a lot of discussion for Jessica, Dave, and I as well, because I really did hear that aspect of what you're asking. You're thinking, as the CRC, this body of work that we've approved, what's the impact of that? What do those parcels look like today? And,
Right.
you know, to Jessica's point, there's not like a standard reporting that we would receive that, you know, once the closing has occurred, it's no longer our property, and we don't have an automatic way of looking
okay.
at that, but it's certainly something, you know, we can take a look at what lift that might be to ascertain the current use, you know, if it was approved for commercial, was
Yeah.
there a facility built, you know, and how is that operating? So we'll take a look as a follow-up to
Yeah,
see
those-
what other diligence we can do there.
A few more check-off boxes, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Justine, did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that I wasn't sure if Michelle could see, because it's on screen, that this page
That
The
was
pie chart?
item by item about.
it was emailed.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Not the
I've
pie
got
chart,
it.
spreadsheet list. Spreadsheet list.
Yeah.
And Steve, did you have something else?
Thank you very much. I want to commend the staff for quick and thorough response to the requests at our prior meeting. I know that it takes many years to convey properties. In my former life, county planning acquired 100 parcels for municipal and public beneficial use. What is the total acreage size of this list of 45? If you could do the total sum at bond, did you do that, Jess?
Yeah, we could do that.
Today we're conveying out about it's like 24 acres. So I commend you for your work is my main point. And lastly, if I were looking for anything to supplement Cal's request and Michelle's request previously, just encroachment cured. And the net effect I know firsthand is that encroachments result in a diminution of value of adjoining parcels. And I know that a curing of encroachment, which most of this is accomplishing, does restore highest and best land use and property values for the adjoining parcels. So I'd just like to share that with our non-planning professionals listening in. It's a very important aspect of our commission work, and I'm proud and especially commend the staff once again for all your hard work. Very thorough, and it's very involved to take this through survey, appraisal, multiple appraisals in some cases, to cure the encroachments that have taken place over 250 years. So it's quite an immense task and a great public benefit that is resulting. I just want to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's no other comments, I've taken some notes. I'm sure Kim is capturing them as well. We'll follow up with our colleagues to see how we can expand this report. But again, thank you for the responsiveness and thoroughness of this first pass. So Jessica, back to you to move into item number 1.
Today we will be discussing 3 proposed abandonments for the commission's consideration. The first request in the Eastern region is a municipal request located in the village of Fonda, Montgomery County. In the western region, we have another municipal request from the city of Fulton, Oswego County, and a small residential request in the town of Galen in Wayne County. Slide, please. The first request located in the village of Fonda is for approximately 18.86 acres located on the north side of the Mohawk River and west of Bridge Street South. The property is not presently needed or anticipated to be needed for the operation and maintenance of the canal system. The requested property is comprised of 3 non-contiguous, irregularly shaped parcels. Parcel 1 is mostly vacant, improved with lawn, trees, and some asphalt. Parcel 2 is currently improved with a bathroom building, lawn area, and trees. Parcel 3 is currently improved with a parking lot and lawn area. A portion of the requested property currently serves as a canal-side park with a parking lot, green space, and a boat launch. Portions of the property are currently permitted to the village. The property has been requested by the village for its continued use as a park and to expand current amenities to include a family pavilion, pickleball courts, outdoor sports, and a campground, owned and managed by the village to increase recreational use. The requested property is bounded on the north by private properties and governmental buildings, east and west by additional lands under the jurisdiction of the Canal Corporation, and on the south by the Mohawk River. The abandonment will have no impact on the Canalway Empire Trail, which is not located in this area. Based on a visual inspection, there are no environmental concerns associated with the requested parcel. The parcel is currently zoned as reforested lands owned by the state. The requested parcel is a portion of Canal Parcel 4059 appropriated in 1912. Prior to its disposition, a review or consultation with the State Historic Preservation Office for the parcel's historic and archaeological significance will be undertaken to condition the transfer if necessary, based on SHPO's recommendation. Next slide, please. And here we have images of each of the green parcels. Were there any questions on this item?
Who currently manages the bathroom facility? Do they do it already?
I would like to mention I need to recuse myself from discussion and voting on this item as I currently provide professional engineering services for the village of Fonda.
Motion. Need a motion now, like separately, you want them all together?
There's a question on the table?
I'm not sure what their rules are. Do we do
You do it for each transaction.
A vote first, a second discussion, then a vote.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to.
Second.
So then any other discussion? Yeah, I think I would just add that we did take a look at this. It is over 18 acres. It is requested as by the town of Fonda as use of a park. And it would be owned and managed by the village. And we did check right away and make sure that it was consistent with the town of Fonda's, the village of Fonda's comprehensive plan, because that was really important. So we took a look at it and felt comfortable.
Good.
any other discussion on this item? And do we take a vote at this point? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion carries and we can go on to item number 2.
Abandonment request located in the western region is for approximately 0.36 acres located in the city of Fulton, Oswego County. The parcel is not presently needed or anticipated to be needed for the operation and maintenance of the canal system. Next slide, please. The parcel has been requested by the city of Fulton. The requested property is an irregularly shaped parcel that is slightly sloping and improved with trees and green space. The city intends to construct a set of ramps to connect the library to the existing shoreline trail, as well as constructing a patio to provide a public gathering space. The city is planning to use funds from a downtown revitalization initiative grant, which requires ownership of the property. The parcel is bounded on the north, south, and west by additional lands under the jurisdiction of the Canal Corporation, and on the east, by the city's library and South Nurse. Based on a visual inspection, there are no environmental concerns associated with the requested flood zone. The request is made up of Forest Canal Parcel 584 appropriated in 1907 and Blue Line lands appropriated in 1930. Prior to its disposition, a review or consultation with the State Historic Preservation Office with parcel's historic and archaeological significance be undertaken to condition the transfer if necessary based on SHPO's recommendation. The parcel is zoned commercial and falls within the City of Fulton DRI overlay boundary. Abandonment and sale of the property will have no impact on the Canal Lake Trail. Next slide, please. And here we have a couple pictures showing the library and looking south. Do we have any questions?
Do we do a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A motion, thank you. And a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ayakata, thank you. Any discussion?
We did review this in advance with the Land Abandonment Committee with no issues. So I'd like to make that as part of the record.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no further discussion, we can take this to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries on item number 2, and we can go on to our third and final item.
Final abandonment request located in the western region is for approximately 5.031 acres in the town of Galen and Wayne County. The parcel is not presently needed or anticipated needed for the operation and maintenance of the premises. The parcel has been requested by the adjacent landowner to assemble with their adjoining property and to move the and retaining wall. The property is currently permitted to the applicant. This surplus land is irregularly shaped, containing lawn and parts of an existing pond. The parcel is bounded on the north and east by the lands under the jurisdiction of the Canal Corporation and on the south and west by lands owned by the applicant. Based on a visual inspection, there are no environmental concerns associated with the requested parcels. This request is made up of canal parcels 1378 and 1447A appropriated in 1910 and 1909. Prior to its disposition, a review or consultation with the State Historic Preservation Office for the parcel's historic and archaeological significance will be undertaken to condition the transfer if necessary based on SHPO's recommendation. Parcel is located within an agricultural district. Abandonment and sale of the property will have no impact on the Canal Trail, which is not located in this area. Slide, please. And here we have a photo looking west.
Okay, before we discuss, anyone want to make a motion?
Roller moves.
Thank you. Second? Commissioner Ayakata, thank you. All right, any discussion on this item?
Just a question on Lock Road. Is that a private driveway or a public road?
That road leading to the lot is currently acquired from the family that owns the pond. So
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, you want to come up to the table so that you can maybe get better audio? Thank you.
Yes, it's handling that for us, but that road to the lock is actually on private property, so we're acquiring the road and we're abandoning that land underneath the pond.
Okay.
That answers your question.
Yep, thank you.
Any other discussion on this item? Okay, with that, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, the motion carries, and that wraps up our real property items for this meeting. Thank you very much, Jessica and Dave, for your work in preparing for the meeting. We appreciate it. So with that, the next item on the agenda is an operations update, and I'll turn it over to Ambrose Barbuto.
Hey, thanks, Rebecca. Good afternoon, everyone. And actually, myself and Dave Mellon are going to tag team this, so I'll go first and turn it over to Dave. So obviously a very challenging winter we had on the operations side. Very cold weather, lots of snow. And then once March came about, all that snow started melting with rain. So we've been dealing with quite a bit, but I'm happy to say that, our crews really pulled it together. They're pretty much finishing up all our winter work right now. We've got the movable dams are in, we're out setting buoys, or, demobilizing from all those pump out sites. I think we're gonna be in pretty good shape for next Friday for opening. We've just hoping Mother Nature is gonna cooperate, especially here in the central New York area. We've been dealing with high water for several weeks now, and we still are elevated in some areas. I know some folks were talking about the lake levels earlier. We are pretty high, but we're optimistic if we can have a good solid week of good weather, that will be okay. If there are some areas where we are going to have some issues, we'll obviously put out some NTMs to let people know about that. But keeping our fingers crossed, and obviously we'll update everyone as we get in the next week. But I really, lots of kudos to our staff. They really did a great job, especially with the conditions we had this year. And like Canal typically do, they kind of pulled it all together, and hopefully we'll be all set. So that's it for my operations update. Unless there's any questions, I'll turn it over to Dave.
Great. Thanks, Ambrose. We did have a little audio distortion, but I know I was able to understand everything that you said. And I think that everyone around the table is kind of nodding affirmatively. So thank you for your update, and good luck with wrapping everything up before opening day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ambrose. Just a sound check before I get going here. Can you hear me okay?
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here, coming at you from the Syracuse office. Let's see, I'll start off with a nod to the maintenance and operations work that's been ongoing for the last 5 to 6 months. My opinion, an excellent job by the team this year. Lots of challenges this winter. Lots of site visits by management and supervision, and constantly seem to observe just an excellence in planning and scheduling and executing the work. So as Ambrose said, we're in good shape to open on time with just about every part of the system open. There might be an NTM relative to some buoys and stuff like that, but we are in very good shape. Innovation is alive and well at Canals. Our Western region utilized a new technique in terms of lifting our miter gates using a gantry crane. So innovation on the rise. The ice breaking with the tug Grosso in our Eastern region went very well. The team is taking somewhat of a crawl, walk, run approach with this, and just a really good year with the ice breaking. And I think, these new tugs that we have 2 of 4 in-house at this time. I just think that that's going to be a game changer over the next few years. And I see Canals kind of taking that over and owning the thing entirely, not really needing outside assistance. Lastly, I'll mention that in Greece, we had a fairly significant sinkhole. Had to once again get our on-demand contractor and our engineering staff involved, but they made quick work of that. So and that's just kind of the highlights, but a lot of good stuff happening this winter season. From a safety perspective, overall good metrics this winter, pretty much consistent with prior years. I would say we're somewhat in a steady state. Pretty much the posture now on safety at Canals is leaning into the framework that we already have and trying to ramp up compliance and consistency. So all good on the safety end at this point. Our workforce, at this point, the vacancy rate, we've got a head count of around 455 positions, and we are running, the vacancy rate is almost 15%, which is a few percent higher than typical. There have been some departures of permanent staff, so we're working hard to fill those. Typically, we've run 10 to 11%. So a little bit of a gap there at this time, hoping to overcome that soon. We're planning to hire almost 200 seasonal employees this year, and that is under recruitment at this point. I'd say we're almost 2/3 of the way there at this point in terms of people in the door. We're moving towards full readiness for the summer season.
We were also able to convert an additional 14 seasonal employees to permanent. So reduce the number of seasonal employees, increase the permanent staff, a good thing overall. It bodes well for long-term workforce development and retention of employees. And there's also some new efforts relative to recruitment going on. Of note is the Department of Corrections career fairs that our human resource folks have engaged with, and it looks like we might be able to get some success out of those opportunities. Next few items are, I'll go through these somewhat rapid fire, but these fall into the category of, a lot of things moving right now at Canals, moving in the right direction. And, they're kind of a little bit hodgepodge, but they're all basically related to the overall mission. We've got a new water management system. I may have mentioned this before when it was in development, but at this point, we are in the last stages of testing, and that'll be rolled out shortly. There'll be an internal facing component as well as an external facing component. And it basically will take a very complex situation and allow people to see it very clearly where the water has a green check and where maybe it's a yellow or red in terms of water levels, flows, etc. Mid-March, we were able to roll out a new online payment system for our residential permits. We do about 2,000 residential permits a year. And so the system's relatively new, and we are quickly approaching 25% participation. So it's going to take a few months for people to become aware of this and start using it, but it's a move to get us, get us more modern, I guess, in terms of accepting payments for these permits. Our maintenance staff this summer will be continuing to attempt to reduce the amount of mowing that we do. Some areas over the years, the rationale for why we mow certain areas, in some cases is very strong and necessary, and in other cases, you scratch your head wondering, geez, do we really have to mow that? So what we're trying to do is where it makes sense, reduce the mowing and redirect those resources to other higher priorities. So that is going on under the hood. We are continuing also to leverage technology. This is a broad theme of Cross Canals that really is helpful relative to optimizing all the work that we do. So a good example of this is the thermal imagery I've mentioned in the past that we attach to our drones, and we end up doing a real good job detecting seeps on our embankments. Well, now we're using AI to basically dissect that information that comes from the software and give us better views, typically taken at night, so we can do a better job of detecting the seeps. So a lot going on with technology at Canals. And the second to last, I will just say that this year we are attempting to deliver a significant budget for Canals this year. Our capital budget is a hair over $120 million. It's one of the largest capital budgets I think Canals has seen, at least in my time and as far as I'm aware in the recent, couple decades. So it's a big challenge. We have increased our capacity to deliver. Some of the larger projects in that portfolio are the dredging at the Cayuga Inlet, the Madison Dam rehabilitation, and also the continuing effort to get us a total of 4 brand new tugboats. So a lot going on, attempting to deliver the budget. And then lastly, I'll just mention that we have, since 2024, really been attempting to engage our workforce in a better way, trying to really push transparency and communication inside the organization. And we just recently had a very successful all hands meeting where we stopped work for a few hours and talked to everybody all at once across all sites. And we tried to drive home, what we're trying to accomplish here, our strategy. And overall, I think it is resulting in a better place of work and a better culture at Canals. So that's it. A lot going on under the hood, and I thank you, and I'm here to answer questions if there are any.
I have a quick question, either Dave or Ambrose. This is Cal. Is it your hope right now that all of the canals will be open? I mean, I came up, Seneca Canal is really high, almost dangerously high, but is the goal by next Friday to open all the segments of the canal, or are you going to do it piece by piece?
Ambrose, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, our goal, Cal, is to open it. We feel if we can get a break in the weather for the next 10 days, we can get those levels down. But the way these storms been coming, and keeping our fingers crossed, but that is our hope.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Director?
Yeah.
Steve, I kind of, quick question. Can we get an executive overview on our Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act? Are there any solar collectors? I'm not aware of any photovoltaics along the canal. Any other clean energy initiatives? Can we get an executive summary on goals or accomplishments in that area for the leading climate initiative, especially with energy prices where they are?
Let's see where the budget ends up.
Yeah, it's important, the budget, they're gonna back off, yes.
I think though there's a lot to share there. I'll jump in. It's Rebecca. We did energy audits of our sites, and what we found is the highest driver of electrical usage was generally lighting. And because we have such, embedded trade staff, they were able to retrofit a lot of the heads, for the lighting fixtures at the sites using the existing kind of SHPO approved fixtures, but retrofitting those for lower energy consumption. And I think you've heard over time some of our pilot work around fleet electrification. So we're on pace to meet the governor's, goals around decarbonization for our fleet. We've got almost 2,000 marine vessels and terrestrial vessels within the fleet, and we're, rapidly moving toward electrification on those, including installation of level 1, level 2, and direct current fast charging capabilities so that we can, and again, using our trade labor staff for much of that installation. So there's some really good things happening. And then lastly, Dave mentioned reduced mowing, which is about moving the workforce toward critical work. But under Justine's leadership with our sustainability team, it's also about carbon sequestration, supporting ecosystems and habitat. And then just the decreased emissions that come from reduced mowing as well. So you've got fewer, gasoline powered mowers out there. And the goal is to reduce mowing by about 300 acres. We're calling it 300 for 300 as we think about the third century. So, we can certainly pull together a more comprehensive report aligned with the goals of the CLCPA, but I think there's a lot to be proud of.
And it is confirmed that they did make some progress in the budget on CLCPA adjusted timelines, as well as the measurement methods to align with international standards. So
very ambitious, but it's a worthy goal.
Sounds like, progress, but without, walking away from that ambitious.
Thank you.
The only thing I like to add, Ken DeRoa here, we talked at the World Canals and also on the Canal Recreation Plan 250. It's my understanding that the canal supports about 2% of the power for New York State through hydro. And we were looking at some opportunities there too. So as our commissioners meet, I like to pursue that with that plan and continue to move that forward. So good discussion.
Anything else for Dave or Ambrose? Okay. Thanks, guys. Good luck over the next week. Keep up the good work. And thank you, Rebecca, for taking the reins. And again, good progress on the budget. So I'm glad to have that report. So we'll keep it moving. And on the topic of opening day, turn it to Shane to talk about what's going to happen a week from tomorrow.
Thank you, Director. Next Friday, May 15th, at 8 a.m. will be our first locking of boats at Lock E2 in Waterford. So the gateway to the Erie Canal and the gateway to the Champlain Canal. We do know, Commissioner Pretori, that there will be some boats in the harbor looking to go north as well. So this is our annual day to gather at the harbor at the visitor center. Welcome that first wave of boaters as they lock through. We know the federal lock in Troy opened last week, and some boats have already been moving up into that harbor area of the canal system and will be eager to go. So that morning will be an early start. When I was working in TV news, we used to call that dark 30. So that was the pre-sunrise arrival for some of us. And we'll be there with Director Walsh, Rebecca, the rest of our public engagement team, Angelin. We'll be with the Albany Orchestra, who will have a small ensemble to perform for us that morning as a tease to their upcoming concert series that'll be happening throughout the summer. So we'll be there to shake some hands, hand out some new canal branded burgees for the boaters, some other literature, pamphlets, and information that they'll need as they go across the canal system on their journeys. We'll invite the media, so we'll have an opportunity to do some interviews with the Capital Region media and our very own NYPA Canals photographer and videographers, Chris Iska and Phil Cameras, will be there to capture it for us and then promote that on all of our social channels. So it's always a very fun, very organic, just a really beautiful morning. So fingers crossed the weather holds. Probably be a little crisp if the weather is staying consistent with what it's been the last few weeks here of early spring. But if you're in the Albany area and can join us that morning, please do. Please come down to the harbor, maybe around 7:30 to join those early festivities with the Albany Orchestra, and then be part of that first locking of boats at 8 o'clock up at Lock E2. So, yeah, it'll be a good morning. The other events, so that triggers, right? Opening day starts the season for all of us. That very next day, we will stay in Waterford for Waterford's Canal Festival. So Georgia, Joshua, Liz, a whole team will be there, to interact with the local community and participate in that festival. And then shortly thereafter, in a few weeks, we will be in the Orleans County village of Medina. So Commissioner DeRolla, we're coming to you for the grand opening of the Medina Triennial, which will be magnificent. Angela, Nick, and I were out there last week touring the facility, touring the old high school, seeing the early installation of the art, and meeting with the folks out there. Very cool historic space in the village out there, and a lot of work going into prep it and get it ready to welcome so many visitors. We are planning a press conference, a ribbon cutting for that Saturday, June 6th, to officially open it. There's some artwork being installed on the front lawn. We're bringing in a vendor, Cal. It's Sue Avery from Avery Marketing is going to help us execute the event on the 6th. So again, for those who can join us in Medina that day, please do. And Commissioner Roller, that's in your backyard. So we're going to have you front and center there at the intersection of Catherine Streets and South Academy, I think is the cross there where the school is.
Excellent. Look forward to it. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. And with that, the Albany Orchestra. So a teaser in Waterford next week. And then they'll be back in Waterford with a larger group on July 10th for the first of their 3 free concerts. Then they'll move into Bellamy Harbor in Rome on July 11th. And then we'll do a mid-August gathering in the Tonawandas on August 15th. So that'll be the final series in our 3-year concert series, in partnership with the Albany Orchestra, which has been magnificent and has brought so many people to canal communities over the last couple of years. Cycle the Erie Canal is back for their tour along the Canalway Trail, July 11th. We're working with Parks and Trails New York to sponsor that, as we often do, or as we have every year, I should say. And then back to Buffalo. So this is the Erie Canal Boat Seneca Chief from the Buffalo Maritime Center. It has wintered in Waterford, kind of in the mud in our dry dock there. We're flooding the dry dock next week. We will float our boats and we will float the Seneca Chief again. It'll be in Waterford for a few days, doing some school programming and community engagement. And then it'll start to work its way back across the canal system to Buffalo over those 22 days. And they are stopping at 16 different locations and offering community programming. We will be there in part or maybe all, Joshua and I, that's a conversation for us as we welcome him on day one and start to assign him and get him staffed and get him out and about. But we're going to be there to support as much of the Back to Buffalo trip as we can. And then all of this and more is on very interactive and very well-produced community calendar that is actually being hosted by Bob Radliff and his team at Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor. So for the bicentennial, our partners at Erie Canalway created a really great interactive calendar, and we've asked them to keep it going. And we're now linking directly from our website to their website, and people in the community or people hosting events can log on and register their own events and get those listed there. So we're starting to point people in that direction. So that's upcoming. I probably should have started with the photos because that's a little bit in the rear view mirror right now. But as we talk about the summer, as we talk about NAV season, as we talk about next week, also want to highlight a lot of work that went into the past winter. So the public engagement and events team, we spent many weekends out and about at different boat shows, outdoor shows, adventure shows, promoting the canal, promoting boating, promoting the trail, promoting that free accessible recreation that our canal system offers. So that is just a small variety of the photos. We were down at the Javits Center in New York City for the New York Boat Show in January. Snuck out just before that really big snowstorm hit at the end of January there. We were also out in Niagara Falls at the Niagara Fishing Show, so promoting our fall fishing program along the Western Erie, and in time in Syracuse for the Central New York Boat Show, up in Queensbury for the Upstate New York Boat Show, and also in Saratoga for the outdoor show up there. The other really cool event that happened this past winter was the Syracuse Canal Crunch hockey team, rebranded for a night as the Syracuse Canal Mules. That's the photo there of one of the hockey players in a special Canal Mule jersey. So we had our crew there to promote the canal system. We worked with Erie Canal Museum, Derek Pratt and his team, and we brought our model lock and had really good engagement with the crowd that night. And our very own Dave Mellon went out on the ice and dropped the ceremonial first puck to start the game. So thank you again, Dave, for doing that. But that was a really, really fun night. Really great to be among that crowd and just, again, talk about canals and just, introduce ourselves to a whole new audience in Central New York. So a lot going on. We've done a lot. We've got a lot to do. We've got a lot going on. There's a lot coming up. But I'm all really good and really glad to be back in the swing of NAV season and out there among the community. So that's the very quick preview of what's to come.
So I have just a really quick question. When is there a shindig when they get back to Buffalo? When Seneca Chief, is there
there might be. Let me talk to Brian. We'll reach out to Brian. I don't know how the ceremonial part, right? Yeah. What's the party look like? Yeah.
There's a lot of programming beyond when they've returned to Buffalo. There's a lot of engagement planned for the remainder of the summer. So yeah, good to hear from Brian Tracy out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we let it go out of the mud, we'll have to see that. But just Shane and the whole team, you've done an excellent job. And for commissioners and others, if you haven't been to the opening day, it's usually pretty freaking cold. But but it is worth it, and it's a great kickoff to the season. And there generally some amazing boats that go through those first few locks that morning. So if you can, and if my knees are working, I'll be there too.
That's great, Commissioner. Thank you.
Jane, can I add an event as well?
Yes.
The 2025 Erie Canal Artists in Residence exhibit opened at the Erie Canal Museum last month and is up all the way through September. Sarah Cameron Zunda and Carrie Varner's exhibits, and I hope you guys will come check it out.
It's well worth the visit.
yeah, it was really, really impressive. Great event. So nice job with that, Natalie. But
Really transformed the space. If you've been to the museum
Yeah.
recently, it looks and feels a little different with some wonderful canal. The canal is collaborator is what it's called, because the artists really feel they're not making art about the canal, but rather with the canal. And it really changes the Waylock buildings feel a bit. So I hope you'll come on down and have a
And the boat.
and the boat. Yeah. Yeah, one of the artists is right on the canal boat there. So it's really fun.
yeah, and if you all have other events that may not be on our radar or may not be on our calendar, please let us know. We'll make sure we get them up there. Any other questions for Shane, the team?
Great stuff.
I'm sure this was covered during the operations update, but again, this is obviously my first opening day, so I don't have a whole lot of historical perspective, but what I've seen from the team this year, between the incredibly difficult winter, the incredibly high water, some of the unique challenges that we have just based on where pump outs are, where our dry docks are, getting our fleet into place. It's really remarkable that we're in a position a week from tomorrow to be able to open up, and it's a testament to the team. They just are really impressive. So thanks again to Ambrose and Dave and the maintenance team for really good work. And again, I know there's a lot that needs to happen between now and next Friday. So best of luck to you.
I'm always very impressed when we almost always have one of these meetings just before opening day, and Ambrose and Dave always seem cool as can. That's not how I would be. So I'm always very impressed by the team.
It's like the Seinfeld episode, Serenity Now, Insanity Later. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. 2050 plan was mentioned, and Justine is here to give us an update.
This is not so much an update. I wanted to continue the conversation that we started at our last meeting about delving into some topics in greater depth. And I wanted to see if the commissioners wanted to have that be part of the agenda in coming meetings, like, say, for example, water quality or sustainability or accessibility. Would you like to not only have us report about what we're doing in greater depth, but also possibly bring something to us that you know or you are working on, or invite an outside speaker, sort of expand our knowledge together? Is that something that folks are interested in?
Yes.
In this meeting? And also, do you have certain topics? I have a few that I can think of, but I'm curious to know what is on the minds of the commissioners as it relates to the 2050 plan. Like, we have all these big things we're supposed to be working on, and we are working on. But I think it'd be great to go into deeper depth and use your expertise more if possible.
Yes, please.
Okay. Any topic? Okay, I'm here, yes. So some that I've thought of, and we could kind of think like, okay, maybe the next, each quarter we can pick a theme. Water quality, I know, is on people's mind, and we are working with the Electric Power Research Institute, which is a nonprofit think tank, to do a study about the sedimentation in the Mohawk watershed that will be just about complete by the next meeting. So that could be a theme, either the next meeting or one following. Accessibility, we are doing a lot of great work on that. And we also have an accessibility education program. Maybe you want to participate in the program, or maybe we can have that education be part of our session, if that's interesting. Another one that I'm kind of interested in is the topic of technology, and specifically GIS. Commissioner Iacchetta, you had an idea that we acted on about creating a map about sort of cultural assets within a certain walking or biking distance. Excellent. And coincidentally, Skidmore came to us asking about, could we have a class that looks at the canal? The students just finished their work on that. They weren't able to present today, but we can share that report either with you informally or talk about it in more depth. I think we're actually using GIS more and more to map all of the things that we're doing. And I thought that might be interesting for us to all learn more about. Like, we're collecting all this data, but how do we actually make it useful? And I think Erie Canalway is probably doing that as well. So that's an idea. Hydropower, I heard that come up today. So if anyone wants to propose sessions, or we can just follow up, I can work with Kim to communicate with everybody to find out what we should do when.
It's like the Steve recommended the CLCPA, and maybe we could look at where we are with our clean energy, energy efficiency, and maybe add Executive Order 20, I think it is in there, 22 around sustainability. See how we're tracking toward that, but also just kind of cross-check with the 2050 plan and see what recommendations stand out there that might push the envelope or engage other partners.
I think just to reiterate, if we know kind of, in a year in advance or months in advance, you all might have things you want to share with this group that would help everyone as well. I would love to see that.
Well, I think what's important also is the fact that, thank you, 2050 plan, let's not put it on the shelf. It's got great bones to, for future development, and to keep it alive, because otherwise sometimes those things end up on the shelf.
Excellent point.
So one of the things that I wanted to put on the agenda, because you have two things on here, I gotta have at least one. I wanted to take a look at the composition of the CRC. I just wanted to take a look at ourselves and how are we equipped to deal with what's proposed in the plan. Are we up to the task? Do we have the right people? Do we have the wrong people? And I'd like to have that discussion at some point. So it's more structural and internal. But I think it's important as I call this a year plus one, right? Like bicentennial sort of set us, and now we're in plus one. And I think it's appropriate as a commission to take a look at ourselves and just have the discussion. I'm not suggesting any change.
Seats, don't we?
Well, there's all those issues and there's some others, yeah. So
And we are,
other things.
that was one of the first things that when we sat down and when I came on board that we talked about, and we are in touch with the governor's office about getting some new appointments and just being compliant to the letter of the law. But I think beyond that, looking at subject matter expertise, priorities, things like that, where the gaps are.
Thank you.
Makes good sense.
Have a conversation. Thank you.
No, that was a great conversation we had, Cal. We believe that the canal has segments of opportunity. Each one has a little different view that can bring quality of life to the table. So each of us can actually have those conversations and see where we stand collectively. Not one theme fits all in what this canal can deliver based on the geographics and other opportunities. And the studies I've seen with people leaving New York State, quality of life has been a third of that. So this canal corridor and the plan of 250 can really add to that vision.
Yeah. Great idea.
So it sounds like Justine, with the ideas that were laid out, some of these are 2050 specific, some are even more overarching. So maybe with Kim, if we want to do some diligence between now and the next quarter, we could identify those, key topics for maybe the next 2 or 3 convenings, and give everyone some time to kind of, generate their own ideas, thoughts, suggestions, look at precedents, what's working really well on other inland waterways or other park systems. And it sounds like there's really strong energy and receptivity for that approach.
I would just add one more, again, kind of more broadly. I think I'm influenced by the time of year, but been a lot of discussion and consternation around water levels, particularly in the Oswego River Basin, questions about the flood mitigation task force and next steps. And it's an area that we've spent a lot of time on. We're going to get some good modeling work done over the course of the next year. So it may not be a discussion that we need to have right now, but I just want to keep it all on your radar, because so much of it, there's the modeling, there's the data, there's the science of it, but then there's just the communications and the community engagement. And, the reality is, no matter how data-driven our explanation is and science-based our explanation is, if your property is being flooded, all that goes out the window. And so, again, looking to you all as stakeholders in different canal communities, helping us to figure out the appropriate ways to engage in those discussions, again, identify where those gaps are. I think that's an area that you all could be really helpful to us in.
The question, who is the current state hydrologist that is really the governing official for water levels? It used to be Howard Goebel.
Oh, so here it's Scott Rabarzik is our hydrologist working for NIPA, overseeing canals hydrology.
RYBARCZYK.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you very much.
Typed it enough times now as I'm like, ask Scott Rabarzik.
Thank you so much.
And I to Dave's point about what we're working on, I think that in my experience, the more transparent and accessible we can make that information, the better, because I think, again, people are upset and maybe they don't trust government. It's oftentimes better for them to be able to access that data directly rather than to go through us and question it. So to do more of that too.
I think just building one more thing on that with
Sure.
the water management system that Dave and Ambrose spoke about, that's currently in kind of beta testing. It's primarily, to be used by water management entities looking at different water bodies or watersheds, concurrently and in a data-driven way, but there will be a public-facing aspect of that, maybe not on day one, but soon thereafter. So the intention is to also make the data public, and in areas where we see repeat flooding, we do see those citizen scientists that step up and educate themselves. They're watching the gauges. They're really attuned. So I think that'll be another way of improving transparency, to your point.
Agreed. Anything else for, Steve?
Switching gears to major events and the Erie Canalway Trail. Big event is the Cycle Erie event, July 11th to 18th. Do we partner sufficiently with Parks and Trails New York as a key sponsor of that, right? Organizers. I've noticed that the numbers are significantly diminished. Used to have 1,000 or more than 1,000 on that statewide major event promoting the Canalway recreation that is, key point of our commission. It's diminished to what, about 650 to 700?
It's in the 600
level. I interview many of the people. The trail comes across my home.
Right.
Interview a lot of people. We're seeing more international travelers. Most of the New York State residents don't know about it. Can we work to partner better and promote that event to get back to where we were of 1,000? 1,000's a good number. It's quite a major.
Commissioner, we have a partnership with Parks and Trails New York, contractually, for a lot of things throughout the year, which Cycle the Erie is part of it. And then we have an independent, or I should say a separate sponsorship of that event specifically. So we have a contract with PTNY to do a variety of things throughout the year. But then there's a separate, I don't want to say pot of money, but there's a separate line item for marketing and sponsorship of Cycle the Erie itself, which I believe is $10,000 that we put into that sponsorship level. But we have regular, I think we're now tri-weekly with PTNY. So we'll talk about that on our next check-in.
It isn't a lot, so we need more bang for our buck. Or
right,
what I'm finding is most people don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so 600 riders come across my
right.
How'd you hear about it? But
right.
It's a diminishing awareness. That my point is, let's try and get back to where we were. 1,000 is a good number, and that seemed to have good stasis. And so I don't know if we give some thought to restoring recognition, state citizen recognition of our hometown event, home state event.
Right. No, it is. It is the signature trail event of the season. But no, absolutely. So between us and our regular engagement with PTNY and their leadership, we can bring that back and see how we can better and best collaborate there.
Just better bang for the buck.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Somehow.
I'd be curious to see what channels they're using.
Right.
To our partners to promote more community, local events along the event and promote awareness. And that's just a point I'm trying to do.
Well,
get back to where we were.
Having had guests come from way out of state to cycle. I would also say, I'll put Ross Levi on the spot. You know, messaging in with the I Love New York campaign
That'd be
as
great.
well.
Thanks, Michelle. Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we've done a good amount of work with the trails and with that event, including some Market New York funding. So yeah, we'd welcome more opportunities to promote it. We know it to be a great event.
Yep.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. So are they on a double lot a couple of times for that Gobi? Jerry?
So, yes, so the round goby is the question. There's been some really great articles in recent weeks. I think what I'm seeing is a much more balanced narrative around the round goby. There is new environmental DNA results that are suggesting an invasion front from the northern end of Lake Champlain. So that's really concerning. The round goby have been known to be present in the Richelieu River, and the St. Hours Dam provided an impediment to their spread, but we're now seeing positive environmental DNA samples below the St. Hours Dam and even at the mouth of Lake Champlain on the northern end. So I've recently worked with DEC under the leadership of Kate Luttrell here, our environmental scientist, to update our round goby rapid response plan. It's been through all of its reviews. I think we're very close to having clearance to publish the revised rapid response plan. And the main difference that you'll see is that the body of it is the trigger action response. So watching the goby, below LOC C1, tracking environmental DNA above that, it gives us operational triggers, where we enact different mitigative strategies. Now it includes a trigger action response plan for an invasion front from the north as well. So we're considering that. We're learning more about how to use and interpret environmental DNA, which is still somewhat nascent. But we'll start out the year. We will have double draining procedures throughout the year. We're going to start out the year with scheduled blocking again, where we're limiting the number of on-demand blockings per day for recreational boaters. But we are revisiting that in the revised rapid response plan, so more to come. But we did a lot of study of the efficacy of double draining, which that force velocity has been really effective based on how the goby suctions and bursts to move on, the beds of riverways or other systems.
Yeah.
Scheduled locking, a little less effective. So more to come on that.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
So we've kind of naturally moved into other business general discussion. Justine, just want to confirm with you, good for your purposes?
I think so, yeah.
Great.
I think I know how to follow up on this. Yeah.
And I wanted to
Thank you.
encourage you too to reach out
Yeah.
to commissioners, because I know that's they're passionate. We're passionate, not they. We are.
Well, I guess just to say right back, if you all think of things that you want to see covered in depth, let us know.
Good. Other topics that I want to touch on or plant seeds to plant for coming meetings?
I will plant a seed,
please.
Since you raised it in that way.
Yeah.
So more to come on this. Ross, you may already be aware, or I think you are. Had a very quick conversation with Bob Provost, who heads the New York State Tourism Industry Association. There are some efforts between NYSTIA and Canal New York to host an event in Syracuse that may coincide or occur on the same day as our November CRC meeting. This event would focus on outdoor recreation, tourism. So there may be an opportunity, if all of the scheduling aligns, that we could participate in a morning event with NYSTIA and Canal New York, and then transition into the CRC meeting that afternoon. So more to come. Just had a preliminary call with Bob about it the other day, but just, I guess putting it on the radar that in November we might have an opportunity to have that activity in the morning and then convene, I'm assuming maybe in our Syracuse office. I don't think that's been decided yet, but would be super convenient if that were to work out. But more to come, but just wanted to say out loud for the moment.
What else? Rob.
Hi, hey. I guess I would just, with some of the conversations about structure, governance, programs, GIS, Erie Canalway, of course, appreciates and recognizes the valuable work that you are all doing and key partners to our organization and hopefully vice versa. So to the extent Erie Canalway can be, in the name of maximum efficiency and effectiveness, which I'm sure we're all seeking, our organization stands ready to participate and try to collaborate and coordinate on all those items from, again, structural to programmatic and everything in between. So please let us know how we can be helpful.
Thank you. I don't know if it came up, but you want to share your recent op-ed piece in the Times-Union?
Oh, yes. So for those of you in the Capital Region, you might be familiar in the Times-Union. There was an op-ed piece this past weekend written by Gene and myself and expressing support for redeveloping or rediscovering Lock 1 in Albany, the original entrance to the Erie Canal on the eastern end, which basically has interstates, and it's where the Empire State Trail kind of trailhead is, whether you're starting or finishing in Albany. It's where the central warehouse is going to be demolished. The governor has some initiatives to reinvest in Albany and help revitalize and transform the city. So we threw our hat in the ring over the weekend to try to endorse that concept. Knowing that you have, meaning Canal Corps CRC, have your hands full, of course, with your own capital needs and operating needs and managing the system you got. But thinking that this is an effort to bring more attention, more resources to canal and canal-related items, and that for Erie Canalway, Albany is part of our corridor as Buffalo. Both those cities were written into the legislation that are part of the Erie Canalway National Corridor. So it's a good way for us to reconnect to Albany and try to become part of that conversation and see where it leads. So happy to share that with anybody who hasn't seen it. We certainly have it electronically and happy to talk about it. Long ways to go, but
I was going to say it's a long-term project, but it would make a significant difference, not just in Albany, but in upstate New York and in the canal system itself.
Yes, our organization is about good communication, linking communities, and trying to bring synergies to the table. So, could potentially be another good piece of the puzzle.
Yep.
Well done.
So, thank you all, and again, happy to work with any of you who are interested in pursuing that. And many of you are already involved.
Any other topics, discussion? Hearing none, I will open up the public comment period of the meeting and ask if there's any member of the public here, physically or virtually, that would like to comment.
And Kim, do they use the chat if there's people that don't have a presenter link? Can members of the public?
I put them on if they say they're, otherwise they'll have the YouTube. Kim Borsheimer from SK Arts, she was on, but I just checked, she hung up.
I think there was one comment in the chat too. Is that anything that's
to it?
Well, we're taking a look at that. I'll just ask again, any public comment? One final time, any public comment? Hearing none, I will note that our next meeting is scheduled for August 6th. Location to be determined, right, Kim?
Yes.
Okay, so more to come on that. And again, I just ask any other business to come before the commission. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Have a second, Steve? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Great to see you all.
Thank you. Excellent
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.